19 people, my God.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our continuing coverage of the Cherry Blossom Bonspiel here at the Potomac Curling Club. I'm Andy Ingalls. I'm here in the commentary box with Nick Datlow.
Hello.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Andy?
I'm very well. I'm looking forward to some exciting curling.
I am too. I cannot wait. Plus, there's some fantastic pants on this sheet, so we're going to have a great time whatever happens.
That's certainly true. So our game this afternoon is Team Wright from Triangle, and they're throwing the Redstones, and they are playing. And they are playing Team Beres from Wamatosa.
Looks like Beres is throwing the Redstones.
Oh, whoops! You're quite right. I beg your pardon. I'll get the scoreboard up for you just a minute. So should be a good game. This is the B event quarterfinal. All the games going on this afternoon are B event quarterfinals. So it should be some good games.
Yep, there's a lot of computers.
Andy is handling all of the technological details in the background. There's a lot of windows and a lot of clicking going on. There's also some curling happening.
How many people you got left? Oh, it's four more than I had.
Yeah.
One more pocket. Oh, it's in the car. Okay, so you're gonna that. He's pretty good right now. That's all I'm saying. Should we be commenting on the whips or what's actually happening? Because the audio is so good.
Yeah, so yellow's got rock in a nice place. That rock looks a bit short. Looks like they're... There we go. Oh, that's just barely. Now I can actually see where that rock is.
Can't see that in-house camera, but you can.
Yeah. We've got more computers coming. This is fantastic. We'll have all the technology in the world. Sweeping hard on this rock. Looks like they're trying to draw behind here. Looks like it's a bit short, though.
We're back to Mia. Maybe we're back. I'm sorry. Whoa, that's two down. A lot of falling. She don't. It is hot out on the ice.
We're getting more commentary. And now we welcome Bob Williams joining us for our commentary of this game. We've got all the commentary in the world.
So Beres trying to open up make a peel here, even though they don't have the hammer, but obviously not liking the current setup.
Yeah.
But really just nosing the yellow guard.
Getting that yellow rock pretty well covered. Fortunately for red, it's only biting the top 12 there.
Yeah, so plenty of room here, and it looks like Wright's just going to draw in, get another one behind the double guard. If you can get it top 4, we'll be pretty happy. Definitely don't want to go behind the T line though.
No.
Although I don't think there's any danger of that.
Yeah, it looks pretty late. Ice has been, I won't say slow, but slower than I'm used to this weekend.
Well, here's what we can say about that. This is the 4th game after a scrape, and it's a cherry blossom weekend. It is definitely a cherry blossom day out in DC. It's about 73 degrees outside. It is 49.8 on the ice. A lot of clubs that have heaters are keeping their clubs at 38 to 40 degrees. A lot of people are playing in t-shirts. They're wearing bandanas. They're doing whatever they can to stay cool.
Yep.
So the ice temp itself, for all you ice geeks out there, is 26 on one side and 25 on another. So we're getting into an area where, any warmer, it's going to get pretty slick for the sweepers. So what we're trying to do is we're using a colder water pebble. We're going a little slower in the hopes that, yeah, we'll have some frost in the first end, but it should hold up for ends 7 and 8, and we won't get too much flattening out, any fudging, too much unpredictability.
Looks like a pretty nice draw here for Team Beres.
Yeah, pretty good shot there. I think a piece of it is poking out
Yeah, you can see
that
it.
side. But
you won't be able to get under it. If you're hitting that, you're rolling away.
yeah, tricky for the right-hander too.
People have other hands than right.
Some people do.
Andy, our resident southpaw.
That's right. It would be a nice, slightly easier shot for me, this one, but they're on it straight away for weight, so maybe it's
Yeah, it looks pretty
a
down.
little down. They might end up tapping their own a little bit, if it even makes it that far. And I don't know if it will. It's going to bounce off the guard here, and that is not a good result.
Yeah, that is.
Huge collection of guards now out front, which really helps Team Beres, who don't have the hammer here.
Yeah, if they can get another draw in there, they'll be in real nice shape.
Yeah, Jackie just calling for exactly what you said, same shot.
Yeah, put it about 2 feet lighter and you're great.
Stone's on its way. I think I heard them say top 8, which is pretty good.
It looks like it's over curling a bit too.
So adding to the collection of stones out front.
Still not a bad result if you don't have the hammer.
No, I think that red is fully covered now, and going for the draw again here. There is also room on the other side, which it might even be easier.
Oh, it almost certainly be easier.
But
to the other side.
persisting with this shot.
Persisting. I like the subtle judgment in the word persisting.
Well, I know a judgment was intended. I apologize for my poor choice of
No.
words.
I'm kidding.
This one a lot wider.
It's hanging a bit, yeah.
Really needs to curl over. It's starting to go now, but it's going to be light. Well, it gives them something to use maybe. But I think if I were Beres here, I'd be drawing another one in.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with that side.
No, just leave that
Come around the other
as
side.
is. You can draw the other side, maybe top 8-ish. Maybe in a pretty good position.
Yeah, if you get a little corner buried, you're okay. You don't want to leave them the slash or anything. But on this ice, that would be hard to call regardless.
So it's going to be first stone for Jackie Beres.
Fabulous hat, fabulous pants.
Absolutely. Lately been curling out at Frankfurt, and that's Frankfurt, Germany, not any other Frankfurt that may be. Frankfurt, yeah.
Kentucky?
No, the actual Frankfurt in Germany.
Oh.
So.
No one wants that.
But she's back here for this spiel. And a nice opportunity here to get off to a good start. This one Looks pretty heavy right now. And the sweepers are running after it, which tells me that it's probably not going to sit down. Bit of a wild one there for a first throw, but probably just guessing on the ice speed and guess wrong.
Yellow, I mean, I think getting this is a little aggressively optimistic.
We can hear some of the skip conversation here.
Sorry, we're experimenting.
He's looking at whether he can get to the red stone, and you can hear him say it's pretty optimistic. So
I'm not sure he'd get to that red rock.
yeah, difficult raise is like the only, and that's a little bit early for that,
right.
I think. You got a nice chance to just draw in.
They've got a good chunk of the 4 foot they can get to.
Yeah. Looking at, well, I think he's looking at something on the front here. Those two reds are lined up in some way. He might.
It's hard to tell.
I don't. Well, we'll see.
He might be looking at the red, yellow, red. That's
it's pretty ambitious, but may work. They are lined up in such a way as that is possible.
He might need some drag. He might have to hit that a little bit on the outside to get some drag.
The only concern for me is you're running a red in there, so
yeah,
it's pretty risky. Well, let's see. Well, I didn't throw that much weight at it.
Well, and he's not going to get. Well,
he's making contact. Let's see.
That was almost really
good.
That was almost really good.
Yeah, that was really close to taking out the shot stone, but
a little too much drag actually.
Yeah. But unfortunately, he's also covered his yellow rays on the right.
Yeah. And there's no good angle now on that side.
No. So chance here for Jackie to sink another one and sit two. Put a lot of pressure on.
And even if she leaves it a bit short, she makes it really difficult for yellow to score anything.
Absolutely. Here it is. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, the rock doesn't look like it's certainly not heavy.
Not heavy, but like you said, light is okay here. You don't want to go too deep. I'm just going to block off that side a little bit.
Choke off a little bit of the approach.
Yeah.
Left it just a bit short of the house.
Looks like there's still room to go through there, but it's a little harder.
Yeah. You might be able to use that for a wick. Which might actually help you get into the 4 foot.
Yeah, the nice thing for him now is he's only drawing against one. So, you know, it's not the end of the world if you don't get there. And I'm still not sure what. From this ice, it looks like double tap is the call. Yeah, he's playing at the.
That's.
I think you could probably just draw, right, Nick?
Yeah, I think the draw is this. I think this double tap is a bit optimistic. They don't line up really well.
Right, to get to the button area, it's tricky. But maybe he just doesn't feel like he knows the draw speed.
Could be. Although it's just a little bit up for a draw at this point. Meaning you'd only throw a little bit more for this tap than you would for a draw.
Yeah, so it's on its way. And the sweepers are, well, they were right on it. Now they're right off.
Looks like he's going to catch just the wrong side of the rock.
Yeah, well.
That's
pretty close, but not quite.
The intent was there. In spirit, it tried. So after the first end, that's a steal of 1 for skip Jackie Beres and the Wauwatosa Giants. Lead Maggie Churlo in the hack, ready to start the second end. That's his wife.
This one really hanging out a little wide here. I think it's just going to, well, I don't know if it's going to sit down in the house. Yeah, it looks like it will.
Looks like it's going to get a nibble on the edge there.
Just into the top 12 area.
So that brings up Lindsay Lahr. I want to tell a story about Lindsay. She was a Raymond Kaiser Memorial Bonspiel A runner-up this season, playing for their second, Mark Audie. And I have a lot of respect for Mark. I enjoyed watching him all through the tournament. He would throw second, but call the game, and he called a more professional game than any other skip I saw in the tournament that weekend. He was never afraid to peel, unlike one of my co-hosts.
We like getting on Andy for his lack of peels.
Mark got down to the final rock. He didn't throw fourth rocks. Andrew Pearson, who's also at this Bonspiel, threw fourth rocks. He is also affectionately known as the ODB, and I believe you can see him on the next draw. And unfortunately, they called a high-risk, high-reward shot, overcurled a little bit, and gave Philadelphia a shot for 3 in the championship. And to his credit, Ryan Green of Philadelphia, if you're listening, you made a really great shot to win. A lot of pressure on that, and congratulations to you. But really good Kaiser final to watch, and we have 2 representatives in this game. Mark is actually originally from Edmonton and now lives in Raleigh, so that explains why he sweeps so well on his slider.
Sounds like they got a ringer on this team.
Yeah, I mean, how can you be 5 and under and be from Edmonton? I don't quite understand that.
Should be some extra rules about
I mean,
that.
I see him out on the slider. I see him in the closed position with the left hand, and all I see is Joanne Courtney out there. So I think we have a real ringer out
Bob,
there.
all you see is Joanne Courtney everywhere.
Joanne Courtney is everywhere. She should be everywhere. The fact that she's not everywhere is one of the biggest shortcomings of this Bonspiel.
As it turns out, she's in Beijing right now.
Well, her heart soul is here in the form of Mark Audie, who almost swept that that inadvertent double promote in for a point in the first time.
This line on this rock looks pretty good. They're sweeping pretty hard. Must be for weight because there's plenty of room around that guard. Might have been fooled a bit on the weight. Just a little bit behind the tee line.
Yeah, a little bit behind tee line and wide open, so we'll see what Beres decides to do here. I think just going to ignore it for now.
Pretty aggressive going with the draw rather than the hit.
No, don't mind it.
It's a great call. It's
guys,
coming around this side is maybe not the way I would come at this shot, but
yeah, I wonder if she's just thinking, you know, if they are a little outside, they're going to rest on the back yellow instead.
Or a little heavy, they can play the hit.
Right, so maybe just playing sort of.
Does look a bit heavy.
Does look heavy. They might make a tap after all. I don't know if they're going to push it out. No, just going to make a small tap.
Pretty nice shot, though. Lots of jams on that red rock. Could play that hit.
He's going to play the hit, but he's got to be careful about the jam here. So see what kind of weight they decide to throw at it.
Well, and coming towards the glass on this sheet, there's a bit of a straight spot on this side. So you've got to be careful that you don't overthrow this rock.
Well, it seems like quite a lot of weight right now.
Probably won't jam, but they got to make sure they hit it.
Yeah. Ideally, we'd like to make a bit of a roll here, but it looks like they're getting close to nose, which is not what they want.
Yeah, that does.
Oh my gosh. Well, they weren't sweeping that, so I don't know if they are just okay with that right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, red in the back of their house is kind of their friend. I mean, if they were back 12, I think they'd have a lot bigger problems.
Yeah, not really hurting them, I guess, Bob, right? Like you say.
I didn't mind that weight they threw there. I mean, that was a good control up. There's nothing worse than you have a wide open hit and you throw board at it, and you just do it over and over and over again, and the rocks over curl.
So I'm trying to return the favor here for Beres. Looks like a little less weight throwing this one. It might be that board weight that you just mentioned.
Yeah, this looks like it's hanging out a little bit. Looks like they may skinny it out the side.
Oh, I think
Nope.
right by it. Oh, yeah, right by it.
You can afford to be a little bit narrow on this side, but you can't be wide. Won't come back.
It's definitely a straighter path there. So now the question is,
You draw in the top 4, I think. You try to get behind cover, and you put a lot of pressure on him.
I think that's what I would be doing, but it looks from the ice he might be guarding his stone, but we'll see.
Really not a big fan of guarding with hammer. The only issue with bearing is it doesn't really take away the hit and flop for red. I mean, I wouldn't mind biting the 8-foot right in front of this rock, and it looks like they have no choice. We're coming all the way
looks like
to
they're
it.
coming right
They're
down
going to get a little
to
bit
it.
of a roll aside. The problem,
And that's not awful.
It's not awful. It does create a bit of a pocket.
Yeah.
If you can get inside, if
It
you can
is
get
awful.
an inside on that outside rock.
Yeah, there's a pretty big
It's a big
place to
pocket.
draw down to now. So
I was being optimistic. That's about as ideal for red as it comes. It's a little more than a rock wide.
Yeah, no, you can definitely miss through that hole.
there is a hole, but it looks like they're actually going to play the hit here.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing the hit.
I think I would be going for the freeze, but
Or even if you get even in front of that is probably better than the hit. But,
Yeah, there's little risk when you're up at this point to go for that freeze here. This thing's really hanging out.
Yeah.
It's
Gotta
not a
come
ton
back
of
a
weight,
long way.
but
Looks like they're going to chip. Are they even going to chip it?
I'm not sure.
I
I don't
think
think
they're-
so.
looks like
way out.
wow.
So like 2 in a row there, just a little.
Just a bit wide.
Yeah.
Now, again, like I said, with that biter of the 8-foot, he's pointing a little higher than I'd like, but the principle's correct, right? I
Right.
mean, aim a 10th light. Don't be like Williams in Ottawa. Don't throw your guard. You're trying to guard 3. Don't throw it into the house and give them an out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to put this in the 4-foot. That would be terrible.
Otherwise, you're packing. You're hitting the bricks. You're driving back to New York. A loser.
I will say though, even if this is made, then there's going to be a draw available on the other side to get right on top of the shot stone.
I think you can probably maybe even get to shot on the guard side of center.
This is
It'll be tight,
really
though.
hanging.
Well, it's hanging and it's heavy too.
Yeah, this is, well, it's going to tap something around here, I think. You know, it's not the end of the world.
Triple here. Well, we're not going to call it triple. It's triple here.
Well, sure, if you're Kevin Cooey, that's definitely a triple. Although, well, yeah.
Or Bob Williams. Bob Williams would throw this triple.
Bob Williams, yeah. That was going to be my second name I was going to mention.
I mean, when you're looking at the pantheon of curlers, you've got Kevin Cooey, Brad Gushu, and Bob Williams. That's really all there is.
Brad Gushu can't even throw that way. It would be Mark Nichols, if anybody, on that team.
That's probably true, yeah. Well, they're not
You
going
hear that,
for
Brad?
it.
That's a challenge.
Surprisingly, they're not playing the triple. I don't mind this. Going for the draw.
Looks like they're over curling pretty hard, though.
Yeah, I don't
they
understand
are.
why they didn't just keep throwing the outturn side. Everybody saw it. You have a lot more room
Well,
to
this
go
is-
around the guard. You can clear the guard by
They're
4 or
actually
5
gonna-
inches.
They're going to put up yellow's guard
Oh
for
my
them.
gosh. Yeah, this is a really
That could not have been
bad
any
result.
worse.
And I think what you said, Bob, is a good point. You know, for people watching who maybe don't play that often, if you already know a path, why not keep going down it rather than try a path where you don't know the speed, you don't know the line.
Well, and I think that's the first rock anyone has thrown on that line, so it's going to be fresh pebble. It's going to be a little slower. It's going to curl a little harder.
And was there a big advantage to be frozen on that side of the yellow? I'm not sure there was.
So it's developing into a chance for a big end here for Wright. Just needs to keep pressing his advantage now.
Even if this ends up as a guard, it's not. I mean, you could put this in the house and be sitting really pretty, but
looks
the
like
guard
this
is
one's
fine. This is a little shorter.
a little short. It looks like it's going to rub off the guard, but that will be okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That cuts off that approach.
Only downside is they're staggered now.
Well, you can clear them both, but you're looking at an in-off now if you're Beres.
I think it's peel time, fellas. You
Aren't
got to
these-
get at the button. You got to have something on your last.
These are scrap rocks, are they not? It's awfully
Yes.
late to be peeling.
It is late, and the trouble with Beres, she only has 2 rocks left, so
I mean, you
peels
could,
her first one, then
yeah.
still 3 yellows in there.
She seems to think that she can get the outside of that top yellow rock on the left.
Wow,
and do
that's-
something with it.
I feel like that's just going to, you might get the back one out, but I think they,
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll lose your shooter.
It might be wiser to go with the promote here of that red rock on the left.
Or draw. I mean, you
Or draw.
assuming there's more than 0 feet of curl, you can totally get to the face of that yellow or slightly over the top.
Kind of
But
a big assumption. on
Yeah.
this sheet.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Bob. I think the draw is probably what I would be doing, but.
well, you're not with me because I'd be peeling.
Well, I'm with your second choice. Guys like to give me a hard time for those of you listening for drawing a lot.
That was
There's-
not an indictment of Andy at all. I honestly believe that, yeah, it's late in the end, but you know, you have to make sure you have a chance with your last. And yeah, they'll try to replace the guard, but make them make a perfect guard. Make them beat you at all times. Don't beat yourself.
Well, Wright has the hammer here, so peeling it gives him a shot.
Oh. You're completely correct.
What?
You're completely correct. I didn't realize who had hammer. But 3 in the 4 foot, now definitely would play the
You
draw.
need to get rid of something. And
Yeah.
she's thrown a lot away.
Wow,
at this.
and this is
gonna hang on and
sailing,
miss everything.
sailing,
Another
sailing.
one sailing along this straight line, and they have not really adjusted yet to that line. Right now, it's kind of a disaster situation. So Wright has to be a little careful. There's a couple of ways into the 4 foot right now. I don't know if he can cover both of them. So they got to decide which one they think is more available for Beres. And he thinks this side. I think that's the right call because they've thrown a lot more down this side.
Yeah, anything on the right side of the sheet would be a guess at this point.
Yeah, so he's going to leave the draw on the left side, but as you're looking at it on the camera. But it's going to be a tough shot.
Was the right side of the sheet, was that a pun?
Hey-oh.
Spencer would have been proud if you said it with a little more edge.
It never occurred to me. But now that it has, I'm going to see what we can do for the rest of the game.
If I'm going to make a pun, it's probably going to be lewd in some way.
I'd really like to see Wright throw the right weight here. And I hope his vice chose the right line.
I'm so sorry for all of you listening right now. So
all the dozen and a half of you who are watching.
So a little light here is okay. I mean, I think his goal would be something like top 12, top 8. But
you get a little nibble, you're fine. But if you leave it a bit short, it's something for the road. That's got a lot of room.
So, yeah, he threw that slightly in out, I think.
It's still moving out.
Oh my God! Yeah, this is not going to help their case.
He's going to guard the Buffalo Wild Wings sign here.
I mean, he might at least sit a 4th stone here.
But he's at least T-line, or he's close to it.
But it does not really help them
It
beyond
doesn't
that.
hurt them.
Well,
I mean,
it
that
adds
is fourth
pressure.
Shot. It does add pressure.
Yeah.
But now I think you really got to draw. Nick Datlow was right before. Andy was right when I was erroneously speaking.
Oh my goodness! Wow, they're not
she's
drawing.
She's trying to run now.
No.
I think you wanted to try this on your first shot.
I think, yeah, I think it's a little late for this. It's all or nothing, really. I think, if you draw, chances are you can at least get 3rd shot probably fairly reliably.
I think
There's a lot of clearance, I think. I think if it's breaking at all, you can get by the guard by 6 to 7 inches and still be second.
If she's at all heavy, this hangs and
And then it
Yeah.
opens
gives
the
them a
draw for 5.
Yeah.
Well, they're committed to it, and it is there. If you hit it just right, you can make the double and roll in.
Or if she gets it perfectly, she can just pop it right on the button. And I'm not sure what yellow does, but this is a lot.
Whoa! That's a rocket, and I don't think it's gonna have the right line with that.
Oh, it doesn't look like
It's gonna
it.
go straight through everything. And I think that's just overthrowing it, to be honest.
Yeah, just energetic. 3 points for going through the port, but draw for 5
Draw,
right now.
yeah. Just throw the same draw you just threw. Oh, well, a little narrower, but
Maybe a little bit.
Honestly, it really doesn't even matter.
Yep.
He has a lot of paint to work with. He just has to bite the 8 foot. Again, as long as he throws the right weight, things are going to work out for Wright.
Yep. If we say right anymore, will we, the Republican Party might come in.
Should I call it the correct weight from now on?
the correct. Yeah, let's do that.
Andy's already sick of our puns.
Oh, my goodness.
Says these friggin' Americans. They speak.
I did not say that.
We heard it, though, anyway.
Oh, here we go. The final stone's on its way.
This looks a bit heavier than
It's
the last
wider
time.
than the last.
Yeah, it's
as well.
white and heavy. I mean, this is, well, the way it looks like it's coming down.
Well, they have a backer over on that
That's,
side.
that's true.
Looks like
in
it's
a
gonna
manner
be
of
okay.
speaking.
Jackie may get lucky and only give away 4 here.
Oh, yeah, looks like just tap that too
Just a little
far.
too heavy.
Looks-
Still 4 is a pretty good take for Wright here.
Yeah, they'll be pretty happy with that. Tough end for Beres there. Just didn't get set up well and then couldn't get out of trouble.
Yeah, it's that tricky line on the left side of the sheet coming home. And
It was a bold decision to promote the one that was on the side 12.
It was bold. I like that. That's a good term for it. Bold. I'm gonna start using that during my games.
on Sunday, the 3 of us play together on Sunday, and I feel like when Andy disagrees with him, he's like, "That's a bold choice you guys have made."
I like to, you know, that's as close as I come to disagreeing with anything.
That understated Scottish wit.
It's courageous.
You're making a bold choice.
Well, it's better than daft, anyway.
I will say for the record, I rarely disagree with my colleagues here.
It's because they're rarely wrong.
We call it a good game.
I'm just going to sit here and laugh. You guys are awesome.
We have all the best commentary. It's tremendous.
Everybody
says so.
Let's not even. Let's not even.
Welcome to Washington, where everything is terrible. No,
So,
except the curling, which is fantastic.
so that was intended center guard there, really overcurled significantly, and it's more of a corner than anything else.
Yeah, I didn't get a good look at the rotation on that. The rocks here at Potomac are brand new this year, and so there's a pretty sizable penalty for not rotating 3 times. As Russ Howard is fond of saying, the curling clubs in the East, people aren't used to having to be positive, aren't used to having to put a lot of rotation on it. We sort of have that effect in the sense that it's the first year. People are still getting used to things, but with the new rocks on this ice, the soft release will curl a good 1.5 foot more than a positive release, which is really hard to call.
Yeah, it's really noticeable. This one's flying. Looks like it's going to be right through.
Jackie might have thought about using the gift that she was given there, or at least going to the wings on the other side. I'm not sure.
Use their guard as
right.
Use them as a corner guard. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Wright is going to do it almost having no choice, but the best he can hope to accomplish here is to shrink the scoring area. This is not really a steal play.
Right. Yeah. No. Even if he gets this in the perfect place, Jackie puts one on the corner of this, and Red's in good shape for 2.
But probably no more than 2, given that you won't be scoring unless you are full 8 or better, or really biting 4. And this thing's taken off, so I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say she's not rotating the rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one has really gone sideways.
That's crazy.
I want to say it has just made it to 1 rotation. Now it is turned around.
Oh yeah, it is reversed. Yeah.
So that's now there's like a double corner, and that's kind of an advantage for Beres.
Yeah.
Really.
If she can get a rock behind there, there's no way they're getting rid of it without a lot of work.
And
there you go.
Yeah, I think she's there. Come to the same conclusion. Let's just keep an eye on this line and see what happens here. See if another one overcurls. Looks like more rotation on this one. So expecting more normal
It should be a
curl.
little straighter. This may not bury as much. It probably won't actually get around to bury it.
Yeah, it looks heavy a little bit. Well, it's okay.
You don't hate being there. There's a chance to hit that and roll under, but even if you do that, you're going to be behind the team.
I heard board called. They're giving an awful lot of ice now.
Yeah, that's
Again,
a
it
lot of
depends on how Mark rotates, and I'm going to watch that very closely since I'm the third wheel on this broadcast.
No one's a third wheel. You're our Kathy Gauthier.
Then I should be out on the ice.
No, wait, sorry. You're our Cheryl Bernard. You're Cheryl Bernard.
Don't you want to be Cheryl?
No, I'm Russ Howard.
Oh, you're Russ.
Does that make me Vic?
Yes, it does.
Oh my goodness. Oh my
telling
goodness.
It's your job to count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I wonder how many people watching right now have no idea what we're talking about.
Not at all.
So I did watch Mark kind of closely. He really didn't rotate it a lot. In fact, he started the rock at sort of a 9 o'clock position as opposed to a 10, so it kind of took him a lot to get it cranking. And that was a very, very controlled board weight, but they obviously knew the line for it. They even got a little bit of fortuitous
Good
roll.
Yeah, this is pretty tight ice, and it looks like he's a little bit wide. But I would have come a little bit quieter and tried to get a little roll underneath on this. Looks like this is hanging.
Yeah, it's starting to move now, but I don't know if he's going to get to the inside. No, doesn't look like it.
You know, if you can't get the roll underneath, you want to roll away as far as possible.
Yeah, I don't want to leave it for the opponents.
Yeah. That was almost 4 rotations, and that's why that one ran a lot straighter than what we've been seeing. So let's watch Mark again.
A little down as well. Didn't get the yellow out of the rings there.
And that yellow is pretty well buried. It's luckily it's in the back 12, so it probably won't be a huge problem. But you're certainly not going to get to it.
This one looks like it was thrown pretty tight. I don't know if it's going to keep the line.
This looks like it's going to miss the shooter.
Yeah, that's really overcurling. Going to promote the guard.
Flop their guard, yeah.
Well, well, a lot of potential scoring area here for Beres still.
Well, she's putting up the guard now, which is, she's looking for the guard, which is not how you're going to score 2.
Yeah, not a huge fan of this call. I think you could draw around under the side guards.
Yeah, if you get under the corners now, that's how you score.
Maybe half under the corner and high in the house, right? Cut off any additional draws and take away any sort of hit and roll underneath for yellow to continue to shrink that scoring area.
This looks short though. This looks like it's not going to quite get where they want.
Is it going to get over? Let's see. It's
there.
Close.
But it isn't going to guard anything.
Covering the rock.
No.
Yeah. Just a little underthrown.
It looks like it's just barely over the hog too.
Yeah, that's a really high guard. And so wide open shot rock here for Wright to have a go at.
It's interesting they're coming this way. This is actually a much tighter approach than if they were to come on the out turn.
Yeah, trickier port than it appears. With that high guard, really kind of an eyesore.
Yeah. Not as much of an eyesore as these pants. No, I'm kidding. I love the pants. I do love the pants.
Wow, he looks pretty close with this one.
Yeah, no, this isn't the way I would necessarily have thought to throw at it, but they seem to have made it work. That's a beautiful roll under.
Really nice
really
throw
nice
there.
Shot, yeah.
So now the long red guard is really hurting Beres, because it kind of blocks the draw path to that side of the sheet.
Yeah, if she's looking to remove some of the guards, and she probably needs to do that. If nothing else, this will give her a path to the 4-foot for her final shot.
To some degree, it may be a little bit late for the right half of the sheet as we look at it from the warm room. It might be time to adopt the old Canadian adage of be in the 4-foot first. I mean, she can use her red and draw there. She'll have to be high in the house, like maybe just bite the 4, but at least it'll bring play that way. And I'm not sure she's going to make a lot of hay on the side 8 at this point.
Yeah, just peels off the top guard and rolls to the edge of the sheet. So Wright's not worried about the shot rock at all. He's probably just going to split the rings here. And it's going to be a force if he gets a few more good rocks. So exactly what he's looking for.
Looks pretty tight to the guard. They're super hard for line.
Oh yeah, this
We're
looks
a
like
little bit offset, so it's hard to see, but yeah, they're just clipping. Ooh.
Whoa, nice spill in a dance there. So a bit of a let off there.
That opens the draw path up to the 4-foot for Beres. May have been a bit of a gift.
Yeah, still that long red is really really unhelpful for Beres right now. It's just absolutely a pain. So they're going to have to work around it.
I wonder if they can bury behind that and still be shot.
Yeah, hard to say from here.
Possibly, but it would just barely be shot.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I think you would be half buried at best, probably. Well, she thinks she has enough room to get down to the shot stone with a draw here through the middle.
I mean, if you throw a gentle handle, it'll curl that much. That's pretty positive. So it may go a bit straighter.
It's going to be a tough line to call.
They're on it pretty hard. Looks pretty good. Maybe a touch heavy.
Yeah, it's really close to the front guard's by. It looks good if it has the right weight.
Line was good, and oh, that's a pretty nice shot.
Oh, very nice. Just rubs off.
Probably see about half of that from the left hack. So for right-handed people, you can probably see enough of that to hit it.
Chris Fairclough might call that a honey.
Yeah,
oh, those Plains Canadians, you never know.
you can definitely see this red, and absolutely worth probably just peel it out, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't need to stick around.
I think, yeah.
You're sitting, if you get rid of it, you're sitting to your shot rock is just nibbling the forefoot, shrunk the scoring area of goodness. And you're up by 3, so you're happy giving 1 here.
Absolutely. It's a little tricky to get rid of. There's a jam potential at the back there, so see what kind of weight he throws at this. He's taking a fair bit of ice, so looks like it's a fairly soft weight.
I have confidence in his ability to throw the right weight.
If
I
you're
have confidence in the springtime.
the correct weight.
Hey-oh.
Well,
This is
pretty
moving
close.
pretty nicely. This looks pretty good.
I think he might sit there, though, which is not.
He's getting close to the nose,
think
but
he
that's
might have.
fine.
That's actually a real nice shot. Just pushes it back to get 1, 2, 3.
As New Kids on the Block said, Lance Wright has the right stuff.
So
Oh, that was hanging tough.
I think for Beres, you can play a tap here, a tap and freeze kind of shot, maybe. If you can tap the shot rock through the forefoot and sit on the corner of the other one, that might be your best bet of getting 2.
Yeah, if you can get to the nose of that and move it 2 feet, you're in really good shape.
Tough shot, though.
We got a microphone threading moment going on.
Is that for us?
Very exciting. Yeah, we do have skips mics.
I would refuse to wear that.
I kind of want to wear a skips mic, but then I'm afraid that my mom would listen to things that I say while I curl, which are not entirely appropriate for people to say to their mother.
I don't think anybody wants to hear what I have to say during those matches, especially not Nick Dallow.
Well, because you're always like, oh, let's peel that rock. I'm like, no, Bob, no.
Not this time. We'll peel later.
We're sitting 7. We don't want to peel that rock.
Well, it's not going to be a peel here. So here's
Andy, our taskmaster, getting us back focused on the match.
No comment. So here
This
we
thing's
go.
curling already right out of her hand.
Yeah, looks like it's got this one going.
Yeah, that's
that
all over the guards.
It's not. Oh my goodness, it's past the guards now.
Did
so.
she get that started? It looks like she
Yeah, I
slid a
think
bit
so.
wide
She
of
got
the
it
broom
started.
and she tried to turn it with her hand.
It has turned about 1 1/4 times from the time she let it go to the far hog.
And
so.
it was about 15 feet short. Looks like it didn't even make the hog line.
Not the best throw from Beres that time, but
I like
so
this shirt.
could be big trouble here now. Wright can throw up a guard in the right spot. Take that shot away.
I mean, if he does throw up, we hope it's not on the ice. And you just gave me a look. I apologize to all of our listeners.
So it looks like he's probably going to try and throw something just kind of, well, I would go for it's on the center line, really tight 3 or top 12, but it's hard to say what the call is here. From the ice, it looks like he might be trying to go behind the red guard.
Really, all he needs to do is block that gap.
Yeah, it seems like a bit aggressive if you're going to do that. You almost want to just put it in the middle.
A biter's fine
Put
on
it
the center line. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Really, even a 2.5 is fine as long as it's on the center line. But they do look tight. I mean, Mark Audie's on it immediately. I think it was called for by the Vice.
And a bit short, too. That looks
very
Here comes
light.
the Vice.
It's always a bad sign when.
This is maybe a bit of fresh pebble here, but that looks like it's.
Oh my goodness.
If it makes the hog line, it'll just barely make the hog line.
Looks like it's going to come up short, and that will be a hog. So 2 hogs in a row. And so that's a bit of a let-off for Beres. She has a chance now to hit the shot stone.
Well, she can just draw to the full
draw
four
the
now.
4 foot here, yeah.
We say just as though we do it every single rock we throw, but
It's super easy. Ask Brad Gushu.
Brad Gushu would, in fact, draw the 4 foot on any rock he throws.
Unless it's the final shot of the Briar, in which case he's going to outdraw his opponent by about 6 inches in the 8 foot.
He was just making it interesting for everyone.
Well, he said he didn't believe his second. His second told him it's 6 feet slower in the beginning of the game. He said he didn't believe him. He threw about 2 feet slower, and then the vice had to come out and sweep to replace the busted lead. It was really kind of a mess of a shot, but Briar win's a Briar win. I think our assembled broadcast team has 0 Briar wins between us.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
Weirdly, they've never invited me. I keep sending them letters.
Well, the way in is moved to none of it. None of it gets an automatic entry into pool play next year. And I was in Ottawa last weekend. We played against their coach, and he said we were better than their territorial team.
So it's looking pretty close.
That's a pretty nice shot there.
Not quite have the weight.
Not quite get shot.
So it looks like it's going to be a steal of 1.
I think that had the weight. It just didn't have the line.
Yeah, just a little over curl. Pretty good
Good
effort.
cut down, but when you're down 3, you really got to take a point down.
Yeah.
So let's look at some other sheets. On sheet A, after 3 ends, Bob Purcell of Potomac is ahead 5-0 against Steve Buffington of Pittsburgh. On sheet C,
we've got
Stephen Hours is they're just starting the 4th end. He's down 3-1 against another Pittsburgh team, Paul Schultz.
Paul Schultz.
Paul Schultz is actually from Burlington, plays in Quebec, but he plays with Daphne Roberts and Brian Stewart and Leonard Jerebeck, I believe. Why do I know all this?
I've played with these guys before. You'd think I'd know their names. But,
And on sheet D, I see Jackie Temple from Pittsburgh. There's a lot of Pittsburghers on the ice right now. I'm not sure which team is which. Red is ahead 3-1 after 3. Red is the team that has Jackie Temple. I'm not sure who her skip is. In other Potomac curling news, Mike Kriz is actually sweeping. That's about the rarest thing I've seen out here.
He was complaining earlier. He's like, oh, this sweeping.
And if I am Cheryl Bernard, we should probably talk about the road life in this Bonspiel. These two teams are from way out of town. We have Raleigh represented. We have Wauwatosa, Wisconsin represented.
We do have some teams coming from pretty far away. We have at least one Texas team here as well. No Canadians this year.
Aside from Purcell, I'm not sure anybody's sleeping at home this weekend. They're all doing the grind. I see Katie McCartney on sheet C in her Manitoba talk. Very impressive. And the 4th end of our feature match is brought to you by Molson Canadian. The drink of choice, the post-game, the broom stacking drink of choice of both Nick Datlow and his Sunday Night All-Stars.
Bigger endorsement I could not think of.
Sunday Night All-Stars back in action this Sunday night.
So that one a little too heavy there, going straight through the house. And just not quite getting the stones together. Beres allowing Wright to really put the pressure on. Good chance for a free draw here.
If you can get that behind the guard, you're in real good shape for this end.
Andy, how would you describe what Lance Wright is wearing on his head? Is that traditional Scottish curling wear?
Well, it's the kind of thing you might see a piper wear maybe while piping. I don't know exactly what the name for it would be. A bonnet maybe?
Bonnet?
Yeah, which is a type of cap.
This is a fine draw by Lindsay Lahr.
That was a great shot.
Really top
Beautiful
lead
shot.
play. I mean, they're off center a little bit, but talk about weight control. Lance Wright gives thumbs up to the
Lance is
assembled
very well pleased with that shot.
the assembled triangle gallery. There are 4 triangle teams here this weekend. A club that just got dedicated ice in March of 2015, so this is the conclusion of their 2nd full season with it.
So Beres recognizing that stone is fully buried, not going to be able to hit it. So just going for the freeze.
This looks just a bit heavy. The arc is nice, but it's just not going to get there.
Yeah, this is going to be back of the house at best. And
You don't mind that weight if you're on the line. It's just a little bit outside.
it's just out. So I expect we'll see a second guard put up here probably. Might as well just keep putting pressure on. Yep.
We just saw a lovely peel on sheet C. Bob was transported.
Well, peel, as we were discussing, is a more difficult shot than it appears.
It's true.
A good one is to be respected, definitely.
This is a pretty nice draw, actually. It's gonna be tough to get rid of those 2 rocks. This is the situation where if you've got the hammer, you'd really like to peel that corner guard.
Absolutely. I was kind of thinking about playing the run back on it now. Pretty ambitious though. Peel would be fine. But
the run back is extra credit at this point.
Well, I think she's trying to trim it. They're going to lose one. They'll stuff a yellow. Problem is, red's going to pop out into the open if they make this the way she wants.
Looks
but
like
this is moving quick.
Yeah, it's curling right at his hand. They may get
now the run back's in play.
No,
and they're over the nose of that.
Yeah.
Wow, they might miss it altogether, which is going to be a disaster. Oh my goodness.
It really brings up a discussion of the fundamentals of a good peel. I mean, yes, you want some weight. You want to be accurate because you don't have a whole lot of time to acquire your line.
Another nice peel on sheet C.
And but the biggest thing that can help your peel game is rotation, right? Because then you can hit a rock very close to the nose and still gear off of it and fly to the edge of the sheet as long as you hit it on the high side.
And
So
it's easier to call the line. If you're the skip and you're looking at a rock coming at you and it doesn't have a lot of rotation, you have to sweep it the whole way because you're not sure if it's going to curl or not. Get a lot of rotation on it, you can be pretty confident it's going to.
it can be a curse, though. If you throw a lot of rotation on all your hits, even control, and you're not really precise, you will fly right out of the house, as I'm apt to do.
Oh,
It
this
turns
one
out there's a lot of things going on.
just racking up the yellows here, and probably a little deeper than they wanted, but to be honest, it's not a lot of great options for Beres. I think you have to make a play on the guard.
Yeah, you can't get it. Even if you just clock everything you can see of that top yellow, you're only getting one of them.
Well, going after the stone's in the house, but for me, the angles are just not good at all here. Like, it's very hard to get a good result out of this.
This looks like it might be hanging a little bit. Flasher is no good at all.
Oh my goodness. Just not working out for Beres right now.
Maybe a little overcompensating on that. The first one over curls, the second one under curls.
And it's almost a situation for Wright where it's, well, what do I do? The situation's already great.
Yeah. Maybe let them throw again. No.
Centerline 3-guard is okay, but the only issue is you do give red somewhere to hide. I'd almost like to be even with that one that's top 8, top 12, but on the other side of the center line. Close off more draw lanes.
Or even just keep piling him in there.
Right, because Beres could go for broke and go right behind it, right?
Yep.
And
Oh, she almost has to at this point. If they get this guard right on the center line, Beres has to draw behind it. That's the only way she's getting any points.
yeah. Well, it looks pretty close for line.
May just over curl a bit.
Sweeper's not worried about the weight. Might be coming. Yeah, it's going to be like a 3. So it's pretty much where they asked for it. But like you said, there is a chance now to go behind everything to the button.
Right, and there is no combination of runbacks or doubles here because of the way those yellows are lined up. If you do get behind this and you get shot rock, it's going to be a matter of waiting until you can draw for 2.
Yeah, it looks like
She's waiting, going for one of these peel deals, maybe 2 rocks too late in this end.
All right, I mean, you say you make this double peel perfectly, right? They're guarding 3 rocks in the house for the rest of the end. You're never going to get an open look at that triple. And this is pitched.
That actually may help them if they can catch the outside of this.
it's on a straight line here.
It's more outside than that.
Oh my goodness. So, yeah, just really a struggle right now for Beres. They just need to find their confidence.
They had a bit of trouble on this line in the second end as well.
So now I think I would probably look to guard that draw that we were talking about because it's really the only shot left. Yeah, there we go. Looks like he's thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would love a biter here
Yeah,
that
you get a
covers
little
the edge
biter.
for.
Yeah.
Get a little corner behind their center line guard, and they're in real good shape.
And then there really won't be anything good. Kind of a nightmare house for Beres to look at right now.
For you Charlottesville fans, Stephen Hours, I believe he's from Blue Ridge, right? Is that correct?
You know, I have no idea. He used to curl out of here when he was a junior,
I want
a
to
million
say,
years ago. When he was
or it's like a CCVA hybrid team. Oh, he's from Richmond. That's right, because he's got Christine with him.
That's right.
He's facing a nightmare house of his own. Red is sitting 4. He's discussing how to not.
He's looking at a freeze right now, or a hit and flop under.
He's ahead by. Well, no, he's behind by 2 points, so it's looking pretty dicey for him. He probably should clean up a little bit. Yellow on our feature sheet.
Leaves that rock a little high.
It's a little high, but what it is that's the path. That's the path that Jackie needs to get anywhere near the 4-foot.
Yeah, it does the job, definitely.
You can curl the other way underneath that and probably cut off one yellow rock, but
So I think we're going to see some granite fly here. The only choice is to
I'm
just.
certainly going to try to mix some granite.
Boy, I sure hope so.
This looks like a better line.
It's a good weight here, so we're going to get something happening.
He is in the gap. We're going to get 2 here. He's going to stay right there.
But clears the guards off.
Yeah.
If he noses that, they maybe get. If he actually, you throw hit weight just a little bit inside on that one, you may get 2 of them to go.
Yeah, it certainly improved the situation. At least you got something to use.
Yeah.
So nice shot there. Hopefully they can build on that and find their game a little bit more. So I'm going to continue to guard here.
As the ice maker, it pleases me to see that one kind of stay on its path and track because it tells me there wasn't anything wrong with the outturn side coming home.
Yeah, it looks like the ice is playing pretty nice today. Temperature's a little warmer than usual.
Nice double on sheet C there.
Yeah, Steven overcurled a little bit. He got one in the back corner. The original one that he hit didn't go out of play, though, because it caught a catcher on the corner 12. But yellow is sitting shot. Everything else is sort of half on the house for Pittsburgh. Paul Schultz is.
This is the hammer.
This is the 7.
Oh, no, sorry. This isn't the hammer. This is Paul's first round.
Paul's going to try to sit 4 again. This is kind of like calling curling on the radio.
So here, Lance Wright is just preparing to throw another guard. And then,
which is really correct. You take away any of these angles on the red. Now, red, if Kevin Cooey was on the team, they definitely have a raised triple. It's there. Lance is going to try to take it away. He looks heavy, though. And it doesn't look like he's getting all the way back to the line he wants. He just needs to shade that red by, a 16th of a rock. But I think he's going to bounce off it.
No, he's past it.
Is he past it? He's
past it.
just past it, which might work out okay if they bury a little more.
Right, because it did overlap it just a hair.
They could have swept that hair just to take away a little more, but I think they've done enough.
You can catch the red just a hair outside.
But then you will stuff that top yellow.
You'll stuff that top yellow, but
But the triple's gone.
The triple's gone. They're looking at running the yellow rock that was just thrown into that pile, but I'm not sure that that's what you want to do.
Oof. Yeah, this is a classic terrible angles house to look at. There's really nothing great.
If you hit a half rock on that yellow, you will get 2 of the yellows out of the house. You'll get the top one and the back one, and the second one will stuff on the back one and stay in the 4-foot. That's about what they're looking at. This is a cut down to maybe 1 if everything goes absolutely perfectly.
This looks like a physics final exam.
If I were Russ Howard, I'd draw it for you on the telestrator, but we're not that high tech.
There'd be about 17 arrows at this point.
But you know the stones these days and the houses, they're so lively.
So lively.
They've got those
Absolutely.
blue horn inserts.
So, Bob, why would you not draw the button here instead? That would be the Vic Wright comment.
He would say, why wouldn't you do that? And you say, Russ would say,
like, I'm not sure you can
I'm
get
not
there,
really
Vic.
sure it's there on the intern side. I mean, this isn't one of those clubs in the Maritimes where it only curls a couple of feet.
There's always this subtle Ontario shade that Russ Howard is throwing at the Maritimes.
Yet when he won the gold medal in the 2006 Olympics, he was on a Newfoundland team.
Oh my goodness.
This is a shoved rock.
And they pushed it out, and you just can't do that on this side. It's just not going to, you can see it's still going outwards.
Bonsoir.
And that is going to be a steal of.
There's still two rocks.
Sorry.
Two rocks.
Premature, beg your pardon.
But
that's okay. Last night I didn't know I had the hammer.
But it really doesn't help the situation at all. Oh my goodness. I think it's just a case of trying to throw it too hard there, Bob.
That's exactly right.
You don't need to throw it that hard.
No, not with these new lively rocks with the blue hone inserts. I mean, you can throw normal at that, catch half a rock, and still get 2 of the 3 yellows out of the house.
Even with our old rocks, even with our deader rocks, you could throw a normal hit and get 2 of them. You don't need to throw shove weight at these.
Yeah, if you're watching from another club, these rocks we have are brand new this year, and the striking bands are extremely lively. It's fantastic to play with.
To some degree, the liveliness of the rocks is due to the liveliness of the house. So in the first game after the scrape, you'll have even more trouble sticking around. I mean, these aren't unmanageable, but
they're a lot more fun to play with.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were in the market for new rocks, consider Caves of Scotland right now, because since Brexit, the British pound exchange rate makes it cheaper for you to have them flown in from there than get on the waiting list at Canada Curling Stone.
Although the Canadian dollar is pretty weak these days, too.
We can thank Theresa May for our the deal we got on these rocks.
You had to bring up Brexit, man. You had to.
Yeah, sorry.
Had to.
Well, that's the absolute truth. That's why we have these rocks and not ones that resemble Rochester's 3-year-old rocks.
There's a pretty nice shot there from Lance Wright. It's hard to do anything that gets. I mean, you could do kind of an in-off sort of a situation. You may just wiggle back to shot.
Yeah, it might be the best option.
I mean, if I was Lance Wright, I would have liked to have been 1 foot higher.
Yeah.
I would have played the same turn. I would have liked to have been half on the 8, half on the 12. I think the hit and roll is still, I mean, you'll hit it thin, you'll slide over. It's a cut down still. It's to hold yellow to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, there may be one angle where you can hit it and just catch the back of the second shot.
I mean, it's a quarter. You want to get a quarter rock here, and I think what you'll fall into is that the center of those, the one that's mostly, well, the one that's biting 4 as opposed to is mostly on 4.
I haven't played on the sheet in a while, but I think I'd want to throw a little less weight and put a little more broom on it, because you've got after you hit this rock, you only want to move back about 2 feet.
Yeah, and you have to stick around, otherwise, big problem. So maybe a chance to get out of jail a little bit here. Really tough shot though. So here is Jackie Beres for their final stone.
Looks like she's talking about it a bit with her front end, getting some input. Yeah, the weight looks pretty good.
It's a little tight. It's a lot of tight.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to...
Really curling here.
It is on the guard, folks.
Oh, dear.
This is not ideal.
Oh, my. And so...
Steal of 4. This is where Vic says, count them up.
Make the final. Oh, no, not yet. Maybe.
It's just a nightmare right now for Beres. And just everything going Wright's way.
And let's update the other sheets. The same thing is happening on sheet A. Everything's going Bob Purcell's way. He just threw first in the 5th end again, which means Red stole 1 to go up 6-0 against Steve Buffington of Pittsburgh. But the Ice Crew would like to extend a sincere thank you to Steve Buffington. The Pittsburgh contingent donated a nice bottle of Evan Williams single barrel to the Ice Crew. It resides in our back room, and it is making my job a lot easier today.
Oh, very nice.
Over on sheet C, somehow Stephen Hours from Richmond managed to really dodge a bullet against Paul Schultz and his Pittsburgh hybrid team. Stephen trails 4-1, but the last we looked over there, it could have been 7-1 at the end of that end. And then the unidentified game. I see some Pittsburghers I recognize. They've started the 5th. They have not hung the score for the 4th. They were trailing 3-1 after 3.
So over curling again here on the center guard. It's happened a few times. So I just wonder if it's just getting them started a little bit on release.
I'll be perfectly honest. I didn't see where Lance Wright put the broom on that. If I were giving the broom at this stage of this game, I would definitely be going full 8-foot. I mean, I would assume 4 feet of curl, especially for a light release.
Yeah.
And as we saw Lindsay's 2 going away in the third, she's really not turning the rock very much. Neither is Mark. Mark's last throw turned about 1.5 times the entire length of the sheet. I know I'm harping on rotation, but it's just so crucial on any rock with a new running surface or a recently cleaned running surface. I played in St. Catharines, Ontario about 3 weeks ago, and there was a minimum of 5 feet of curl. 5 feet of curl for me, who throws really positively. If you time and you do backline to hogline splits for most of the world, if it's a 370, mine's a 4 seconds or even lighter than that. And so I was keeping it to 5 feet of curl. My teammates were having more difficulty than that. If you were not positive and rotate, you'd run into a lot of trouble. And that's kind of the way the game's headed. That's the way they prepare ice for U.S. Nationals. It's the way they prepare ice for the Scotties, where Joanne Courtney has really made a name for herself, and at the Brier. So I would urge you all to really adopt a controlled slide and consider adding some, not wrist action per se. Think of it almost like darts, but do something to counteract these newer rocks as different clubs in GNCC buy new rocks. Schenectady purchased theirs about a half season before Rochester did. So you're going to see a lot of curl in the Northeast U.S. these days, and just be prepared for it. Don't try to be too delicate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really good advice for anyone looking to improve their game, and also if you want to try and get to a slightly higher level, that's something that is really important. So right now, obviously it's a tough situation for Beres. I think in this stage, obviously you're well down in the scoreboard. So what you're thinking about here is forget about the score. You just want to try and get out there and throw some good stones, play a couple of good ends, and feel better about your game. I think that's the key here right now.
Yeah, I believe this is this a loser out game?
I can tell you. Hang on. I have a computer in front of me.
We have technology here.
This is a C event game, right?
B, I believe. It's a B quarter.
That's right.
I tell you, everyone who's not
Oh,
here,
yes, it is a loser out game. The loser is requested to commit seppuku, as this is a
Goodness.
Japanese-themed bonspiel.
I certainly hope not.
This is a very serious bonspiel. If you lose out here, suicide is the
I'm
only
really glad I
That's
didn't
it.
enter.
You have
all of a
to
sudden.
maintain the honor of your family. To lose this game is to disgrace them.
I tell you, everyone who's not here at the Potomac Curling Club is missing out. Not only do we have all of this fantastic curling, but next door there is some sort of fairy tale ice skating situation happening, and some dude washing his face in the hand sinks at the bathroom. So lots of exciting things happening.
Well, that's fascinating.
I would never think to wash my face with hand soap.
Well, no comment.
So we have some more clarity. These are all B event games. So that means our mystery matchup on sheet D is Aceta from Pittsburgh versus Green from Long Island. Or should I say Long Island?
The Long Island.
Long Island. What, you got a problem with that? Long Island's here.
If anyone's watching from Long Island, we do really like you guys.
Well, yeah.
Don't pay any attention to my colleagues here.
No, we don't have a problem with it.
It was mocking with utmost respect.
Okay, well, that's maybe I misunderstood.
Well, you know what the state bird of Long Island is, right?
I actually do not.
It's giving somebody the finger.
The flippin' bird.
Oh my goodness. Well, in the meantime, on our feature game, nice draw there by Beres behind the corner
very
guard.
nice draw. Very nice draw.
And so Wright is going to try and get at it with probably a hack weight, I think. But it's pretty tricky.
Looks like he's a bit wide, but it should curl back.
Yeah, we have seen a lot of curl here, so there's a bit of disagreement between the thrower and the skip about the line. So
just wrecking a little bit.
Yeah.
But it does open that up. You can see all of that rock now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I would draw in again, probably on the other side. I don't know about guarding. You want to try and rack up a multiple score here.
Yeah, you need to get at least, well, you're down by 8, so you need to get ideally 5 or 6.
Yeah, and this is something that you know, you encounter a lot at Spiels with certain teams. As soon as they get one shot stone, they're thinking about guarding it, and although it's tempting, you know, you have to also think about the wider game and like, do you want to just score 1 here, or do you want to score 2 or 3, or give yourself the chance to score 2 or 3 at least? And often you're kind of limiting yourself when you guard early like that.
I mean, yeah. So it's actually a very nice guard. They may be able to see just the outer corner of that rock, or the inner corner of that rock, but.
Yeah, it looks like they'll be able to see a bit, but tough line here.
It is a tough line, and it does even this limit. They're looking at taking 2 now.
Yeah. So I'm looking for this one to over curl because they've had quite a few on this sheet do that on this line, but this one is running pretty well.
This looks pretty good. This actually looks to be running pretty straight.
Yeah, in fact.
Maybe it's hanging on the center line a little too much. It's gonna go right on past. It looks like.
Well, and that's the mistake that Beres was looking for. So now a really great chance to
split up the house.
Split the house in undercover, and now you're really bringing a multiple score into play.
Now she's looking at a possible 3 or 4. Which she could really use.
Absolutely.
This looks a little tight. You got in there pretty quickly and then right back off. Maybe it took heavy.
They're not sweeping, but the line looks
yeah, it looks
very
like she's
tight.
all over the guard already.
Yeah.
Maybe why they're off it.
I'm not sure whether that was well. Yeah, just tight all the way there, I guess.
Yeah. Not quite out to the broom.
So they're going to get another chance at this shot stolen. Looks like they're taking a little less ice. But now you got to be careful because once you're off the center line.
It may curl really. Yeah, they're throwing inside of the center line, so this may curl really hard.
So this is one of those where you move the broom 2 inches and you get like 2 feet more curl. Yeah, absolutely. Well, looks pretty close so far.
So this actually is hanging again.
Yeah, well, he threw a lot of weight at that one, I think. Probably more than they intended. That was at least a heavy board, probably more.
I think it was a little more than that. Yeah, you could not have missed that rock by less, but just past it.
So another chance for Beres to make the draw. See if they can get out to the line a little bit this time. Still a good chance to score, you know, a 3 maybe.
You get this rock nice and buried, just biting the forefoot.
Oh, tight again
this looks
there.
Tight, and it also looks light.
You can see the rock didn't ever get off the center line.
It's gonna end up guarding some of the guards.
Oh my.
Nothing's going sideways. That thing probably curled about 5 feet.
So I think we have a third chance to hit the shot rock out here. I expect to see a little less weight this time. I think.
Yeah, both of this are a bit up, I think.
A nice hack weight should do the trick.
It looks to me like they've taken actually a little bit more ice, so I assume that they're throwing less weight. This is definitely less weight.
Yeah, gotta be a little careful here. It might go quickly. I think.
They're on, they're off, they're all the way off. He's certainly. He's got it now.
Really tight to the. Wow, they were very calm about that. I was expecting some panic sweeping there, but Weiss knew exactly what he was doing.
Exactly. It's a great shot. They didn't even roll.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great shot there.
If you're Jackie, you're thinking maybe you can catch a little bit less of that and maybe roll undercover that way. Bring your 2 back into it.
Yeah. Roll to the other side, you mean?
Yep,
Yeah. It's definitely there. Don't know if you could outdraw it and be undercover.
Probably not. I think if you out count it and don't hit it, you're looking at probably being at least half open.
Yeah. So I think that's what they're going to try and do. They're taking quite a lot of ice here, so it's going to be a soft weight. Or at least I hope so. For that kind of ice, maybe just a tap weight, like a
maybe hack weight even, or maybe even backline.
Yeah,
that's a long way to come.
Significantly more than Wright suit.
Yep, it's about a foot more, I would say.
So
it looks like the Long Island Skip on sheet D is playing in shorts to honor Robbie Melville.
We've had a couple guys curling in shorts this weekend.
Well, it is actually warm enough to do it. It is 49.6 degrees out on the ice. Let's call it 50.
A balmy 50 degrees on the ice.
So here is Jackie Stone.
Sweepers are right on it. It doesn't look like the weight is particularly heavy. So it may be that it's just light, but it's got to come away.
Yeah. Well, it's lines. I don't think they're on the yellow yet, but they need to go for weight. It might just end up being a corner freeze.
That's a pretty good shot, actually. She's not shot, but if they play on that rock, they're almost guaranteed to jam in.
Yeah, pretty good result. Tough to do anything there, so you might just see a guard throwing.
Yeah.
And challenge Beres to see what she can do with it. And from Wright's perspective, even if you give up a 2 here somehow, well, that's fine. Get
Not the
the
end
hammer
of the
back.
world to be up by 6.
Absolutely. Not the end of the world, absolutely.
There's a lot of apocalyptic things happening in the world right now, but being up by 6 is not one of them.
So here we go. It looks like it is a guard. Called. Although it looks a little heavy. And needs to sit down.
It's not terrible if you go a little deep, but you don't want to be up to it.
Yeah, and it's just going to do enough, I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nice shot there. And really not a lot of options left.
It's hard to get 2 here. Could you? I don't know if you can see enough of that yellow rock to run it. No.
Yeah.
It'd be a real genius shot to get 2 out of this if you're red.
Yeah, I don't see a way your shooter's rolling on.
Yeah.
So might just be draw for 1. But even that's not straightforward with the all the guards in the way.
You almost want to draw away from all of the crud.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be easier. And you can still catch the 4-foot.
The danger of that, of course, is that no one's been playing on this side this end, so you may not know where to hit the green.
Yeah, so they're going for the draw towards the center line, and this could easily overcurl. It might be possible to wick the red and split it for 2. I mean, that would be a very, very difficult.
That would be incredibly precise. Or maybe you overcurl and you run the yellow back into the red and move the red 6 inches, and that gives you shot rock. But that's a lot more complicated than the open draw to the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here comes the final stone. Really needs a good result here.
Line looks fine.
Oh, the sweepers are kind of jogging a bit, so I wonder if it's a bit heavy.
They would only be on it for weight.
It really
looks like it's a bit heavy.
A little heavy, but it might work out. Just wick it.
Oh,
it might.
That might be the shot for 2. I think it's the 1. I think it's just 1.
I think it is 1, but it almost made it for 2.
That was a pretty nice result. Pretty nice shot, frankly.
Yeah, so nice draw there from Jackie. Gets the single.
Looks like we'll play 6, so I'll stick around for another end with you guys.
Excellent.
All
We
right.
are going to do the scrape after this.
There is a scrape, actually.
Yeah, and it's got to get done before 5:45, including pebbling and nipping, so it's going to be tight. So I'm going to run out of here at the first second I can. It looks like that time is now because Bob Purcell has defeated Steve Buffington on sheet A. So I am going to go put the scraper on the ice. Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks
Thank
for
you,
joining us,
Bob.
Bob.
Hope you learned a lot about Long Island while I was there.
As someone who's going to play in the 545 draw, I'm very excited to hear that there is a scrape happening.
Absolutely. That was Bobby, he's one of our ice makers here at the club. Puts a lot of work in, as all the ice crew does.
Yes, they do, and they are greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. So this is the sixth end, and a big lead for Wright with throwing yellow, and he does have the hammer. So I expect him to just keep it fairly clean and control the end.
Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Absolutely.
This is a real long guard for Beres, but not a bad position for it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's definitely usable, and you probably see them throw a second guard to follow up with that one.
Yeah, they need to steal pretty big.
So I think, right, he's just going to go straight around, not get too complicated. Just draw into the forefoot, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Just, you could do that, or you can, the other option is to draw the wings on the open side and try to draw attention away from that guard. But if you beat them to the forefoot, you're in good shape.
Yeah, I think at this stage, if you draw to the wings, I mean, Beres, they have to ignore it basically, right, and go all out for steal. So
yeah, they basically have to set the second guard.
But back four isn't a perfect place for that. It's just 3 feet too heavy, probably. And Beres is going to make a play on it now. I think I still like throwing another guard because realistically, yeah, you're going to have to get a big steal, so you got to take some risks.
Yeah, you got to. Oh, there looks like is she throwing the hit here?
I think so, yeah.
If you get that hit and roll underneath, you're in a real good shape. But that looks like a lot of weight, and it's a little wild.
It's a lot of weight, and this is the side where curl is not massive. It's coming now, but I don't know if they're going to catch any of it.
And they're not going to stick around, which is unfortunate. We are joined now by Gabe Kempenich, who is skipped his team into the A semis.
Hey, y'all.
Congratulations, Gabe, on the good
Thank you.
tournament.
Thank you.
When are you up next?
8 o'clock tonight.
8 o'clock tonight. All right. For those of you watching, tune in 8 o'clock tonight. See Gabe in his semifinal.
And some other guys, I guess.
Yeah. A few other people.
A few other people, absolutely.
Trying to draw in again, it looks like here.
Could have considered peeling the guard now. Oh, no, it's still lead stones, beg your pardon. So could not consider that.
You could consider it, but then you just put it back.
Don't see a lot of tick shots here at this level, but on this ball, this is going to be a little light.
Yeah, this is not at all what they want.
No.
Rocks in play are not their friends at this point.
Yeah, guard really only helps the opposition at this point. So,
I mean, throwing that rock through wouldn't have been a bad decision either.
Yeah, you'd much rather that go through than be up in front like that. That's actually a really great rock for Jackie. She's trying to steal.
Yeah, the only good news, at least it's tight to the ring, so they'll be able to make use of it if they have to.
You can run it if you need to.
But definitely going to be a draw around here for Beres. They're just deciding which side they want to do it.
This side curls a bit more, so this is probably the right side to do it. So they've also got a better angle on the thing. But
yeah, they got the long guard to help them as well. But this thing was thrown a little tight.
Also looks pretty light.
Going to be all over the guard.
It's not going to get to the guard. But it won't put it in.
Well, it curled all the way past the guard. Well, you know, it's not the worst result for them. They need guards.
Exactly.
It does make for a slightly easier double peel, though.
The double peel is easier now. You catch about half that outside rock. And
absolutely.
Yeah. So here comes the peel attempt.
This looks like it's curling a bit more than they want.
Yeah, it looks a little tight.
A little tight.
They may catch their own rock. Don't think they'll get the double peel.
Well, as long as they spin off, that's not terrible.
So we're back to the status quo ante, it looks like. One extra rock way here on the wings, but not a whole lot of difference.
So it looks like Jackie's going to draw the other side this time. I still like the same side that they tried last time. I think they just didn't take enough ice.
Or he was a bit narrower above. But yeah, I agree. I like the... Gives you a bit more room to get in there.
And
Looks to be pretty close onto that guard.
yeah,
I think they're already on that.
I think they
guard.
might be through the gap.
Oh, it might be through the port, yeah. Which, if they can do that, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all. I think they're going to
Just a
clip
little
the,
bit.
yeah.
It might be on. No, this is the wrong. We have the wrong top-down view.
Looks like it's just shy of the rings. Not totally sure from this angle. And I expect to
it's
see
just
another
short.
peel here for Wright. Just get rid of those guards.
Yeah, again, you catch this top one pretty thin. You can get maybe both of them going. But you want to make sure you get rid of that center line rock, which is your biggest problem right now. Out here on this outside line again. Maybe just pulled that one a bit out. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Not a great result out of that.
No.
Not what they were hoping for.
Definitely a little more of a peel and replace.
And, well, they have to draw, I think. Just a question of, I'm really not sure that's enough ice. I mean, I know this side is straighter than the other, but
Not that straight, no.
I don't-
Not at draw. But I
no,
think-
draw weight, I think it still curls exactly.
I think I like the other side, and you tap your red rock back. That leaves you a guard and
Yeah, absolutely.
shot rock. I like it. But they don't let me skip every game, as it turns out.
Well, this is in danger of tapping up the Yellowstone.
Looks a little hot,
Just
too.
past it, just a little hot.
Just past it, but yeah, too much weight there.
That's another advantage if you come the other side and you play the top on your own. If you're a little bit wide or a little bit hot, you can play the angles to bleed some speed off.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it looks like Wright has decided the time for peel is over, and he's just going to say get there first. Which, you know, I understand that call. I think I would potentially make the same call because
When
peel
you
is
got
more difficult than it seems.
Yeah, well, when you got 4 guards, it's hard to peel them all. And
Right.
you may as well just get your first rock in there and challenge the other team to make their run back or whatever they need to do.
Right. This one looks to be hanging a little bit.
Yeah.
Jackie may be able to, it looked
Oh,
took
wow.
a real bite there.
Yeah.
I think that might have picked right at the very end.
Yeah, I
think
ended up covering a piece of it.
Right. I think with quiet weight, she still might be able to get around it and roll behind.
Yeah.
You have a better angle than I do, Gabe. She might be able to.
The ice here, though, is set up for, well, I'm not sure what it's set up for. It looks like a lot of weight for this shot. with
Yeah,
that
I think
ice.
she may be a little bit fooled because everyone's been putting it a little bit out. And so she's calling it really tight.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
looks like it's going to either be on the top
This-
guard or,
Yeah,
yep,
it's on
there it
top
is.
guard. Nice footwork there by Maggie Churlo to avoid tripping over about 3 different rocks.
So Wright's actually just going to guard up his shot stone now and say, well, what can you do about this? So he's looking for a tight sort of 3 guard here. Maybe a biter is okay.
I mean, their shot rock's in pretty good position. I don't mind a 1 guard here.
No, absolutely not. That's, I mean, just hanging it right over the hog line,
Yeah, you make
slightly
the run back
off
as
center.
difficult as possible.
Yeah.
This is coming a little closer, though. This looks like it's going to be a 3. A real tight guard.
Yeah, it looks like they might overlap their guards a bit, which is not ideal. Just can't use either of those now.
Well, yeah, now if Jackie can run her red rock back into the 4-foot, there's no way for Lance to get at it. But they're not looking at that. They're looking at some
At a double peel. I
double
think.
peel,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
not probably their best option,
No.
in my estimation.
I mean, yeah, the trouble is, sure, you make the double peel, you open up the shot rock, but
you need to steal
you
here.
need to steal,
Yeah.
so
And then you have nothing to hide behind when you do have your own.
right.
Any other option too.
So you kind of just have to take the risk.
And down by 6, it doesn't matter if you go up another 3, another 4. You need to get your 1 rock in.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it looks like they're going for the double peel. So I expect a lot of weight here.
There's definitely a lot of weight.
Looks to be hanging out a little bit. See if it'll bite.
it's
There it
moving
goes.
that.
There it goes. Look at that.
Wonder if I actually
Wow.
picked something there.
She
'cause
may
that
actually get the double peel.
took a big move.
Oh yeah, and
Well.
she left that right there. So that's a pretty good center guard
Yeah, that's probably the best result she could have asked for.
for sure. She's got 2 pretty short runs if
Yeah.
she gets the chance.
Yeah, nice shot there. So now it's kind of decision time for Wright, and it's kind of tempting to just kind of put another one in there, like top 8, if you can get there under the center.
That's pretty tight. If you do
Yeah,
that.
at this point though, you're up 7, so giving them
Oh, it's
1
7.
isn't the worst thing. So throwing up a high guard isn't bad.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
challenge them to tap their. If you challenge them to make the perfect tap.
Right, give them that steal of 1. You're still going to be up 6 with 2 ends to go. You'll have pretty good control.
Yeah, I think I saw him gesture to sort of the top 12 area on the side. So underway here, and lighting looks pretty good right now. So it's all about the weight.
This seems to be hanging a little teeny bit, but you don't hate that. You'd rather that.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to be pretty good. Might as well get in the rings there, yeah.
Right.
It's not a bad spot.
That's pretty good.
Blocks the run on the center, so you got to do the angle raise.
Yeah, you can slash that, but you're not going to keep the shooter if you do that.
Right, it'll be a tough shot.
I think, yeah. I mean, do you guys think you have to go for the angle raise here, right?
I think you have to go for the angle
Yeah,
raise.
absolutely. On the one on the right.
Yeah, on the real close guard there.
I think instead, looking at the double on the yellows, but you're
Which is it's a sexier shot. Everyone's going to go like, ooh, but it doesn't do you any good in terms of the.
yeah, probably
terms of the
losing the shooter with this.
Yeah, unless you catch everything you see, and then you may just end up in the edge of the 12-foot, but that gives him a pretty easy draw to take the 1. Or the hit for the blank even.
Well, here it is.
I hear him calling narrow, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
See what-
all over the center guard.
yeah.
Well, they're off it. See if they can get something out of this, but I don't think so.
It's going to be a draw for 3 and probably the game.
I think so. Yeah, straight draw for 3. And yeah, well, I imagine we'll see handshakes, even if this isn't made. It's gonna be at least 2. Easiest shot in curling, just draw the rings.
Yeah, the easiest shots in curling are the cold draw, the open hit, and the shot you just threw.
Absolutely, yeah. Just throw the same thing again. That never ever goes wrong, right?
Never.
I
Why
always
would it?
make that. They're sweeping this one. This does not have extra weight on it for sure, but it
Yeah.
looks like they've got the
Looks
house.
like they've got it pretty well here. Nice shot.
Nice shot,
draw.
and it's handshake.
And that is the game, so it will be a win for Wright over Beres, and they will progress to the B semifinal. So congratulations to them, and commiserations to Jackie Beres.
They will enjoy a tasty beverage or 2, I would certainly hope.
So we are going to move our cameras over to the next game.
Onto sheet C, where it's a real barn burner.
And keep you guys updated.
It's like Paul is throwing the hammer here.
She'll
He's sitting 1. It looks like a draw for 2 here.
throwing the red stones.
That's awfully wide, though.
I don't think that's going to come back in time.
Weight was probably not bad, but about 4 feet too wide. So that puts Paul up 5-3 after 6.
It's 5-3. All right.
Our erstwhile co-commentator, Bob Williams, is now standing right in my view of the sheet, so I've got nothing but Bob's back.
It's a nice back.
I've seen worse. I've definitely seen worse. I hope he listens to this later and is
Right.
embarrassed.
Definitely looks official with that ice crew
crew.
jacket. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be more official if it didn't say Rochester Curling Club on the front.
Right?
But,
Yeah, you're not supposed to notice that part, I think, which says Rochester. We need some new jackets here at Potomac. I think.
we do,
I
actually.
think that would be nice.
If there's anything we need to do more of, it's spend money at the curling club.
Absolutely. So it's a 2-point lead for Schultz throwing red here as we start the 7th end. Against Urs from Curling Club of Virginia. So close game here. So if you're Urs, you're looking to score your 2 and then steal in the 8th. That's kind of the plan.
It's your best bet. It looks like they've got after one rock, they've got an opportunity. They're sweeping this hard to get it over the hog line.
And it is over. Good sweeping there. And still pretty warm in there. It's 50 degrees air temperature in the ice shed, which is much warmer than usual.
Much warmer. Normally we'd expect about a 40.
Yeah, so the conditions are probably a little different. Maybe a bit slippery underfoot.
That guard is just over the hog line, but also just off the center line. So that's a pretty good steel guard.
So the Virginia team maybe playing a tick shot here. Not really sure. No, just drawing to the corner, I think.
Yeah, I think they're trying to set the corner. The tick would not be helpful, I don't think.
Yeah. So this looking a little light, but it's going to be a nice corner guard. Need to get 2 points, so.
It sure curled a bunch, didn't it?
Yeah, it's really going sideways at the end, so it's still usable. Covers part of the 12 foot, but a little wider than they would like. And so I think we'll see this one in the rings from Schultz.
Either in the rings or very close. I think.
Yeah, maybe tight.
Depends on how if they want to steal here. I don't think you need to steal if you're.
Yeah, I think you're happy with a force, right? That'd be ideal.
I mean, a nice steal. No one ever complains with a steal.
Yeah, you never complain about a
That's
steal.
right.
But you're not gonna try so hard for it.
No,
you can even
you're
give
not
them
gonna.
2.
Not gonna push for a steal.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like it is going to be a tight guard. So maybe they will end up going for a steal after all. But
Steven looks like he wants to go behind that, which is probably the best idea he's had today.
I mean, that's hard to say. I mean,
Nick, the expert over here.
I know all about people's ideas and when they have them.
So here's Alex Carroll lead, throwing our second stone, trying to draw underneath those 2 guards. Probably looking for about top 8 area.
Sure got a lot of room to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweeper's not touching us yet. The weight looks pretty close.
Oh, well, there it goes, actually. That's pretty good. False angle there. That looks like it's pretty nicely buried, actually.
Yeah, nice draw there. Would have loved to have 2 extra feet there, I think,
Yeah.
on it. They're
That's
only
right.
in the top 12.
But it must be pretty well buried because Paul's looking for the corner freeze rather than the rip.
Yeah, interesting decision to corner freeze that one without the hammer. Could consider going right around it, but not that easy to get there.
Yeah, he must be hoping to be able to rip that at some later point.
I like you say rip. It's like what they say in Manitoba. You don't peel things, you rip them. You know? It's kind of interesting.
I've been watching too much of the Scotties in the dryer.
That's right.
Besides, rip saves you 1 letter over peel.
Throw
It
things
does.
with nice weight. Well, that's
That hung a bit.
Yeah.
So it didn't quite get to the corner, but pretty nice weight.
yeah, nice weight. It's gonna be wide open though, so chance probably to hit and roll to the outside. I think it's probably the play.
Yeah, with that ice, you could throw real gentle and probably get underneath if you're fancy, but
Right, that roll underneath would be pretty good, actually.
it'd be real nice if you can get it.
Yeah.
You would be behind those center guards, but you're behind guards, so.
Yeah.
Well, this looks like
Well,
it's
this
really over.
looks like it is going to overcurl, yeah.
It's gonna split off. Are they gonna get it on the rings? No, I don't think so.
No.
I think that was probably just a little bit underthrown. I think you throw a little bit more weight at that.
Yeah, I agree. It looked like it
so.
only was maybe back line
I
weight.
think, yeah, back line.
So, but got some guards in play to work with. Get your two.
As long as you can get to that Red Rock top 4.
Yeah, that's the worry. So I think they're playing the guard here. So a little bit of risk involved.
Yeah, you don't set this guard perfectly, and you're in pretty big trouble.
Yeah. So here we got guard attempt coming up. I think Supers look happy with the weight, but it does need to curl a bit from this angle.
Yeah, well, yeah. So they're doing the outside soup, trying to get that to curl a little bit. Looks like it's pretty good. Actually, it's right in.
It's right, yeah, right on top of the other red.
Well, you're not going to outdraw that rock, that's for sure.
No, and staggered the angles in kind of a nice way.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to get at those. I think we might consider running one of the yellows. Maybe. I think maybe you could run the tight guard on the right-hand side. Yeah, into those reds. And he's looking at that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe try to get rid of that top red one and maybe try to open a path to the shot rock.
Yeah, that's definitely another option. It looks like he's might be just trying to go straight through now.
Yeah.
Straight through the hole. The trouble is with the way that reds are angled, chances are you're going to take one and roll out.
Yeah, there's no double given the guards. It does look like he's gotten through the hole. He's probably going to get one here.
Yeah, nice shot. It sticks around.
It's a pretty nice roll, too.
Yeah, it rolls buried. So if they can get rid of that red rock. Pittsburgh's playing with fire here. If they don't set their guard, they're in real trouble.
So they are. Looks like they are going for the guard again. Neither of those yells easily accessible, so. Kind of forced into trying to steal at the moment.
Yeah, no, the in for a penny, in for a pound at this point. Pittsburgh is basically either stealing or giving up 2 or 3.
This one kind of hung out there, so they're trying to
get a little wick.
I don't know if they covered the shot stone with that.
It's a pretty tight port, but I think you can get there.
That top red, that guard way up there is really getting in the way now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like you can get through, but you probably have to throw like a normal weight here, right?
Yeah, you can't throw down weight at this, otherwise you're going to.
So we have Christine Alessi. She's throwing second here. I beg your pardon, she's throwing third. It says second on the sheet, but she's clearly throwing vice stones. Task for the takeout.
Definitely got some heat on it.
That is not a gentle weight hit. They're on it pretty early. It looks like it's curling right out of her hand. They end up removing that long guard, which wasn't doing a whole lot of good anyway.
No, that's definitely not a bad outcome there.
Yeah.
Now they can come the other way at that rock,
Exactly.
which seems to be more of a natural curl to hit that.
Assuming that Pittsburgh can't get their guard in position again.
Right.
Yeah, so they're going for another one. And the trouble now is there's no yellow guards available to really run in now because of the angles on the red-yellow combination.
Yeah, you've got this red-yellow angle on the left here, but that's not your first choice. You can do it. I'm sorry, on our left.
Right. Yeah. So those. Yeah, you could potentially do that.
But that looks pretty long too. That's a good 2 feet. Lots of room to miss that.
And this one also, I think, a little wide.
Hanging out there, yeah.
It sure is.
So don't know if this is going to cover the stone.
Looks
No,
like
there's-
slipping into the house.
you gotta
look-
try
Maybe.
and,
Yeah, trying to jam that over a little teeny bit.
well, they narrowed the port a little bit.
The intern is definitely the more natural way to come at this rock now.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's there, but it's not easy. I mean,
yeah, you got to thread a little port there.
I would think similar weight.
Yeah.
yeah. So you think like a nice sort of control-ish weight?
I'm thinking normal up. That
Normal
looks
up.
a little quieter
This
than
is
the last
pretty
one.
control. Yeah, and it looks like it's already curling
It's
too.
just going.
Oh yeah. That one went really quickly.
That's gone.
It's gonna hit this.
It's gonna make something happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure it's gonna be beneficial. Shrinks the scoring area a little bit,
Yeah.
but
Definitely opens it up a little bit too.
true. But second shot's now wide open.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see Schultz hit that stone.
I'm not sure if you can. If you hit that right, you flop to center and it gives him a good double. And if you hit it to flop outside, you
Yeah.
jam it.
Yeah, true. I mean, you could. I mean, you got some other options, I guess. You could corner freeze it. if
I like
you-
the corner freeze.
Um,
Guard's not the worst thing in the world,
guard's
but they've
not
had
the worst.
trouble putting him up.
yeah. Looks like from that broom, he's leaning towards the hit.
It looks like the hit. He's got to make sure that he hits and then rolls all the way under
Oh yeah.
stuff to the left. If,
Yeah.
if he leaves that center line, then Steven will have a good shot for double.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. A lot of these rocks have been over curling.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Been
true.
curling real quick.
Here is Schultz with his first rock this end. Looking for the hit and roll. Yeah, like you say, you want to get right undercover here. Don't want to leave a double opportunity. Even if you bury half, it's probably enough. Well, it looks reasonably quiet.
This
Look
is
at that
not-
thing go though.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
sweeping hard.
Oh, that is going to be
Oh, look at that
taken
go.
off.
That might jam. Are they around the guard?
He's around the guard. He just got it.
Just got it. Oh, and he
Clips
takes
the
himself
red.
behind.
Oh.
Actually,
That ends up being a pretty.
that's a pretty good shot.
That is a
Yeah.
good
That's a
result
great
there.
result. You've got that. Can you see enough of the top red
to go for that real
to get
thin
for that thin
double.
double?
Oh, it doesn't look like it
It's
from
tough.
here.
Uh,
Maybe with soft weight, but
or maybe you can drive the yellow rock. I don't think the angle is there for the yellow rock to drive that back into the red rock, is it?
well, you can see most of it. It looks
Maybe.
like
Okay.
from the hack.
And
so
you don't need much weight. Probably just around hack.
Hey, you could throw like just a tap weight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It looks like that's what they're thinking about.
It does look like they're looking to drive the yellow rock back. That doesn't look like a lot of ice, though.
No. Thinking maybe control up weight.
She
Oh,
moved the broom
they
out
just
just a
moved,
bit.
yeah.
but I don't think you want to throw anything more than just backline right at this. You want to make sure you keep that yellow rock around. 'Cause
Yeah.
it is your safety valve at this point.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Nick. So, talking over.
Didn't you say you played Thursday? Yeah, we're in first place. We're always
It's interesting how much more ice it looks like they're taking down the sheet than from above. From above, that looks like almost no ice at all, and from down the sheet, probably the angle I'm sitting at, but it looks like about 3 feet, but it's really probably about 1.5 feet.
Right. This angle does not help.
Yeah.
See, looks almost normal.
Yeah, he threw a little more weight than I expected.
Yeah, and
We'll see if it bites like the other ones did.
this one looks like it's hanging right on the center line.
Right.
He may end up chipping himself out.
It's going a little now, but not quite enough.
Not
and
enough.
It's gonna
Yeah.
roll under.
I mean, he's still got a yellow in the ring, so
Yeah.
it's not the end of the world. But definitely makes it harder on himself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and if Paul can get this guard up, he won't have Steven won't have a whole lot to do here. You know, more of an angle tap right to the button, and that'll be his only shot.
Nah, a run double, yellow, red, red.
Sure.
It's tough.
It's tough. It's there. It's there.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Cooey would make that all day long.
It's, I mean, from this angle, it looks like it's almost nose on that top one.
Yeah, it's definitely there.
Slightly,
Yeah.
slightly left of nose.
Yeah.
But, well, we'll see what happens after this shot.
Yeah. I mean, and if Pittsburgh can bring their rock, you know, just out counting that rock, it doesn't do them any good to do that anyway.
Right.
So here's the guard attempt for Schultz. Line looks close. A couple of other ones is in got a little wide here, but this one looks like it's gonna be in a pretty good spot. Looks a little heavy though. Might be right in the house.
He may be right on top of his own rock. Yep, he is.
Yeah. Well.
That
And
doesn't hurt him is the thing.
No, it doesn't. That almost forces the draw.
Yeah, you could probably come in there with pretty decent weight and catch it just on the inside of nose and be fine. But you're still only getting one here. There's no way to get two out of this.
Right, but the issue with that is that the first red might jam and
Yeah, I
roll
know.
right onto the pin.
Yeah, it would certainly jam. Yeah, you'd have to hope that you roll a little bit more than the red rock does.
yeah, tough draw though, right? I mean,
It's a very tough
get
draw.
right to the button there.
You need to bite the button there. And that's. I'm not sure that the hole is wide enough to get in.
Right. You could also look at almost what we were talking about before, the run double. Just kind of tap the yellow onto the top red and roll it in.
That's expert level curling here. That would be pretty tough. It's there. It actually is probably the best way of getting rid of everything else, but there's no way to get 3 out of this. So what's your simplest way to get 1? Sorry, there's no way to get 2 out
Right.
of this. So what's your simplest way to get 1? And I think it's just to.
Yeah, looks like they're making the hit here, but it's really to spin the top red out. I feel like you have to throw a lot of weight.
Yeah, I don't think they can get that. I think they're trying to catch about half that top red rock and hope that it just dead jams and they can flop a little bit for shot.
Right.
It's really tough.
What weight are we thinking? Probably around like control.
Well,
You want to make sure you keep the shooter. You can't throw a lot more than control.
yeah. I mean, even with control, half a rock, you're probably rolling out, right? So,
Yeah.
well,
you
let's
need to be
see.
quiet. This is more than control.
Yeah, and I expect, well, it needs to curl as well. Well, here it goes.
It's moving now.
Yep.
They used to both be covered.
Oh, it made
Oh,
over.
wow.
It just overcurled. Wow.
Fell off the other tire.
Even at that weight, it overcurled.
Right.
That's,
The tires have a tendency
Seems to be like a thin line on that center line. If once it hops over, it's gone.
Yeah. That was really surprising how much that went. It looks like it's 3 reds. Looks like they are going to carry on though. So
they are getting a talking to from some of the ice crew who would really like to get scraping.
absolutely. It's a tough ask to come back 5 points. And
There's a lot of finger waggling. It's hard to see what's going on.
yeah, I mean, 5 points is pretty dire straits with 1 end to go, but
I don't see any hands shaking yet.
they are entitled to play if they want to play. So, but
They're getting the hack, so looks like we're at least starting the 8th end. I think that they may hang up the sliders after they're mathematically eliminated. Rocks,
I'm sure they will. Yeah, absolutely. So it's just going to throw it straight through here. I think Schultz.
You don't want anything in play here.
Yeah.
Even a 4-foot is something for them to play with that you don't want. Meanwhile, on sheet D, it looks like there's about 100 rocks in play.
The house definitely does look busy over there.
So yeah, as predicted, Schultz is throwing the first stone away. No need for that. Not going to help them. So we'll see a couple of guards probably from ours, and then they're going to have to go in and hope for a bunch of misses, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, you set your 2 guards and then cross your fingers.
Absolutely. Hope that they maybe accidentally throw a 3rd guard for you, and then
We have seen 5s, but even at this Bonspiel, but not in the 8th end usually.
yeah. Well, it's like a nice guard. Can be pretty high, but
Yeah, it's fine to be high.
Yeah.
You want that a little more on the center, but
yeah,
any rock can play at this point is your friend.
just going sideways at the end there.
Another victim of soft release.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that definitely does happen with these rocks. If you don't give it a good turn, it'll take off.
Absolutely. We've seen 5-6 feet of curl.
Very, very enthusiastic clean we had on that rock.
Then Jared back looking to keep warm rather than make sure that the rock is going.
Meanwhile, you might be able to see in the corner of your screen the scraper is coming down on the other sheets. Ice Crew getting started. Games on A and B are both finished.
The one of Canada's finest exports.
Absolutely.
I'm unclear why we have bubble wrap around the left tire, but
Something, yeah,
It's the
something
right
to do with dirt.
Saran wrap. Saran wrap.
But I'm not sure why it's not on both tires in that case.
it's just so classy.
Recently learned how to drive the scraper. It's actually a lot of fun.
Is it as difficult as it looks?
It's not as bad as it looks. The hardest thing was putting it away again because we have to put up
Go
this
up the
awkward ramp that you can't see on your screen. But that takes a lot of bravery.
Right. We definitely don't want to drive it into the wall.
Those blades are not cheap.
No, and so that bit's a little tricky, but driving it around is actually fairly straightforward. It's just remembering the pattern you're doing.
Do you have to do them backwards? Do you do them on the wrong side?
Well, because I'm left-handed.
Because you're left-handed and you're British, right?
Luckily,
So-
yeah, right. I see where you're going with that. I see where you're going. I just follow the instructions. That's all I do. So meanwhile, back on our game. Sorry for the interlude.
We can tell all the games are really close because we're talking about the scraper.
Peel attempt successful there by Schultz.
Doing Bob Williams proud. He loves his peels.
Absolutely.
Sheet D is a barn burner. It is now tied coming home in the 8th.
Yeah, so really, I think I guess it's time for one more guard here for ours and there, and they've got to have every rock in the house. So
Yeah. After this rock, they've got to get everything counting.
This one looks like it's going to cut.
Yeah, it does.
It is not wide for sure, and it doesn't have
Maybe it's the angle, but it definitely looks like it's going to take off.
It doesn't have a lot of handle, and it's certainly moving. Yeah, that's going sideways now.
Yeah, that's
That curled probably 2 feet in the last 20.
Yeah. Well, there's a guard. Now, there's double peel there.
There is a
If you
double
are,
peel there. They're not going for it.
If you were,
Probably pretty confident of going for just the one.
I think that's reasonable.
definitely at this point, just one.
Rock is away.
Oh,
It's shooting pretty hard right out of his hand.
Yeah, I
but,
think that was definitely tight. I don't know if they're going to make contact here. And they might.
Yeah, I think they've just got the
Just
corner
get
of
a
it.
piece.
Just got a piece, yeah.
Yep.
Ju-
Just pushed it a
doesn't
little
move
out of the
rock,
way.
But
Still in play. And now just got to go in the house.
yeah, I think you want to go behind that rock, the one that just ticked. I like going over the one over here because it's harder to get to.
Yeah.
But Steven now is choosing to go to the narrower side or the easier side to get to.
Yeah. Well, either way, they're going to need a lot of help from the opposition.
This rock looks to have more weight than the guard, which is good news.
The path looks about the same though, so that's
He may be
not looking promising.
Yeah, he
on
doesn't
this
have a
guard.
whole lot more weight. In
And
fact,
it's-
this may have less weight. I'm just wrong.
Well, and I think that's, to be honest, that's the game because They need to do that rock in the house. And
Yeah, technically those rocks are still in play, but Pittsburgh would have to really mess it up to get out of one of those to count.
yeah, you can
Let
just
alone both of them.
throw through at this point probably and win, but
In fact, Paul has made that same
yeah.
calculation himself.
The only possible thing that could go wrong is if you try to peel and somehow promote
Fail it,
them,
yeah.
which I have done. So
I have occasionally missed a peel myself.
It happens to the best of us. You know?
It even happens to Gabe.
It happens to me. I will admit.
yeah, so yeah, Schultz recognizing that fact. So just he's going to throw it away, and if they go in the house, he's going to try and hit them, and that's it. So they're going to carry on here, but you're going to have to somehow split one of those on the rings, and that's not possible.
That's going to be really tough without magic or divine intervention of some sort.
Yeah, I really just can't see a way.
I have been in a game where the rock that is the closer guard has come into play not as a rock itself, but as a ricochet rock. But that was a game where I needed to steal 1, not 5. Or take 1, not 5.
Yeah. So meanwhile, game on sheet D, as you say, is tied coming home.
And there's already a lot of rocks in play.
Yeah, there's not going to be a blank, I can tell you that, because there's a number of guards.
In fact, everything's a guard.
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 guards.
And that high guard looks like it must have ticked another rock forward, because if it's not on the hog line, it's really close.
Yeah, it looks like it is on the line, so yeah.
Right, and on C, we just saw a draw just slip through the back line, so it's definitely getting to
CCVA
mathematical.
truly on life support at this point.
Yeah,
Yes.
really are mathematically eliminated now, so.
They technically have 6 rocks, but they need Pittsburgh to put one of them in play for them. And
yeah, and accidentally threw guard there, but it doesn't matter, to be
doesn't
honest.
matter.
Surprised they didn't just throw that away again, to be honest.
Definitely an interesting idea there.
Were they trying the draw and were just super light? I didn't see the
Maybe.
call.
I mean, but also at this point, why
would you
draw?
bother, right?
You
You
don't.
certainly don't need the steal.
No.
Yeah, and well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say Irish they really should just shake here. I think it's no
Yeah.
benefit to playing on, but you know, they are gonna keep going. So see if they can make a couple of draws.
These CCPA guys don't have their dedicated eyes, so maybe this is just a chance for them to throw some rocks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let me, the only reason I say it is just because, the ice crew is already working and they have a lot to get through.
Yeah.
So, let's help them out. But, as you say, maybe just want to get a little extra practice, but.
Pretty good draw there. It slipped a little back behind the tee line, so it's not ideal. Paul's probably going to go right for the hit.
Yeah, just make it go away. Looks pretty good.
Yeah. The sweepers do not seem concerned. Getting on it now, just to keep it clean.
They're not concerned, but I am. No, nice hit. Roll away. Yeah.
Yeah, they must be playing to practice that because they are, I guess, not technically mathematically.
Yeah. So over on D, nice draw coming down from the yellow team. I actually don't know who's playing yellow and red. I'm going to try and find that out for you.
Yeah, there are 7 guards and 1 rock in the house, and the 1 rock in the house looks
Two
to
rocks
be,
in the house.
Oh, there's a second rock in there?
Yes, there's
There's
Oh,
a
yeah, there's
red
one, yeah.
back.
there's that red back there.
Strangely, despite the 7 guards, both rocks in the house appear to be wide open.
Yes. So as Long Island is throwing yellow there. You can tell because they're wearing the pants. And they are currently shot, but like you say, but both wide open. And I think red has hammer there in the 8th, so
Yes, yes they do.
they're going to have last chance.
That is some interesting sweeping that is going on. That is one of the more unique sweeping styles I've ever seen.
By both.
By both,
By
yeah,
both
I know.
players.
That is like a Laurel and Hardy sort of a sweeping.
Hey, but they kept it straight, so.
They did. It works for them, and they swept so hard that it actually slips out the back.
I did not know Laurel and Hardy was a thing here. Interesting.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah,
Looks like
well,
it
yeah.
might be biting in the back.
Might just be biting in the back,
Yeah, they've not removed it, so.
but not terribly helpful.
Yeah. And, Long Island decided to draw undercover rather than guard their existing stone. I think that's a good call.
And it looks like handshakes over here on
Yeah,
C.
hand 6 on C.
Yeah.
That's
And so
Pittsburgh defeating CCVA.
let's just take a closer look at D. It's the only game remaining.
I think you've swung it over to A.
Oh, it'll get there.
It'll get there. There
Just
we
takes
go.
a moment.
Swinging it around.
Cameras have a mind of their own a little bit.
Technology. And no sooner are they shook hands than the scraper is coming down the middle of the sheet.
Better get out of the way. You don't want to
they
get
have
scraped.
to move pretty fast.
Ice Screw is ready to go.
Yeah. And so that draw coming up light there on CT. So yellow's still shot, but a lot of room to get in there. Yeah, there you see the scraper coming down very, very quickly. I think Ice Cream are trying to do a little catch up here. I think the schedule's a little bit behind, so.
Yeah, the next game's not supposed to go on until 5:45, but scraping the ice does take a little bit of time.
We'll see. What we should time them. See how fast they do it.
I think at this point
broadcast the scrape.
I'm sure our viewers would love to see that. Live scraping.
Live scrape.
Oh yeah.
Instead
See
of a
what's
live
happening
stream, we
over
get a
here
live
on,
scrape.
Oh, nice shot
That's a
there.
pretty
Great
nice
shot
shot,
over there
yeah.
on D.
They may still be. Oh, you should be able to see all of that rock. If you can get just a little flip under, you're in real good shape. But,
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
a nice little, not so much a freeze, but
yeah, you almost want to just throw the draw here. Like the hit
Yeah,
is fancy and all,
I think
but
so.
just draw other side of the center line.
yeah, because the draw leaves you in front of the tee line if you do it right, and the hit will put you behind it.
Yeah, I agree. I like the draw a lot here.
And yeah, give up 1, give up 5, it doesn't matter. You
Doesn't
need to
matter,
make sure
nope.
your shot.
Just gotta make sure you get that rock in and make the other team sweat a little bit.
Yep. Put the pressure on.
So we're down to, I think we're down to Skip's Rocks now.
Yep. It's yellow's first skip stone.
Sweeper is hitting it.
There's a lot of loud clothing on this team.
There.
Socks and sleeves and pants.
Absolutely.
Looks like they fit on the blue and orange team.
Yeah. That rock is hanging a bit.
And that,
Oh,
Ooh,
shows.
just
Just kiss that over a little teeny bit. Maybe make it a little bit harder to get to.
seemed overswept there, to be honest. They were,
Yeah, it certainly didn't need sweeping.
so I think they're going to throw up
Ha!
like
Sorry.
tight guard, top 12 stone here. Just kind of block off the path. Hopefully they won't have to throw their last stone.
I apologize, viewers. I'm very mature.
Nick is one of the more mature broadcasters that we have here.
Can you believe it's my first time?
And doing a fantastic job.
No, this has been fantastic. I don't know why I don't do this all the time. Should broadcast our league games.
Well, they are looking for someone to broadcast the Capital League.
Capital League playoffs.
playoffs.
Hopefully I'll be
Since my
on the
team
ice for
is-
that.
We might be in the running for the House Cup.
Oh.
I might just give up and just broadcast it.
Well, you might want to run that by your team first.
Ah, it's just George. He loves playing with 3. Looks like they're trying to play the guard here, huh?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they were looking for top 12-ish, but I guess the line is the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, you do have hammer, but you don't want to give them a chance to,
Yeah, you
to
wanna-
pop one in there.
Yeah.
Looks like there might be enough space if they can keep it straight enough, though.
It's hard to tell from this angle, but yeah, there may be a port for them to get through. And
If they're able to hit and roll a little bit to the bundle of guards side,
yeah,
Yeah.
they
could
might be
trouble.
able to pull it out.
Yeah.
there's certainly nothing attractive on the guard side. If you get under those guards, there's no good way to get at those rocks.
No, there's not.
No.
So we'll see.
It looks like there is space, but it looks to me like you have to throw a bit of a rocket to get through. Hard to say from this angle.
It looks like about a rock and a half. It doesn't need to be like super heavy, but you can't hack weight it in there.
No. Well, here it comes. His final stone.
It looks like a pretty decent weight, but they're on it really early.
Yeah, they are really going with it. Looks close though.
It does look. It looks. I think they're on the guard. I think they're
Oh, now
just
he's-
on the guard.
Yeah,
just
just
on
on
the
the
guard.
guard. And that will be the game.
But real exciting end over there. A really exciting game over there. Real exciting pants over there. Everything over there is just very exciting.
Just a lot of good stuff. Well, that's it. That concludes our broadcast for this round. But we're going to be back at 5:45 for the next draw. So hope you join us then. Thanks, Gabe, and thanks, Nick.
My pleasure.
And mine as well.
And we will see you guys very soon. See you guys very soon.